Okay, hi. So this is our Rigor Mortis and general muscle structure presentation. So basically everything that goes on happens in the myofibril, which is a part of the muscle. It's one of the little tiny strands inside of a bigger strand, inside of the big old muscle strand. What happens is at the neuromuscular junction, which is where all the signals are sent from the brain, all the motor signals and stuff, they're sent to the myofibril, which is covered in a sarcoplasmic reticulum, which is this really calcium-rich sort of wrap, I suppose, that goes over everything. And then inside, due to sliding filament theory, which is the theory that myosin and actin sliding together is what contracts muscles. In order to do that, they really just have to be together because they're strongly attracted to each other. But trypomyosin is this big old protein that's in the way of myosin, and it blocks it. And it has troponin on it, which is what binds with calcium when it's released by the sarcoplasmic reticulum. And so as proteins bind together, obviously they change shape. We already know that. And so the changing of shape makes them move out of the way so the myosin and actin can bind together, therefore making the muscle contract.
So when a person is alive, as I assume most of my audience is, they have myofibrils. Well, they use muscles to move in general. And in muscles, they have myofibrils. And in myofibrils now, there are the neurotransmitters, which basically tell the sarcoplasmic reticulum to stimulate or release the calcium, which goes like this, and which binds with the troponin, as shown there. Binds with the troponin here, and basically your actin and myosin will bind sort of like this, which then shows, and this right here is your muscle contracting. This is, because, as we learned in the previous units, muscles always contract. This is your muscle contracting. Now, when you're alive, obviously, your muscles, for this bind, all these binds to be broken, you need something called ATP, which is energy. And energy will come and break, these binds for your muscle to relax. So, as you can see here, we have ATP. And the ATP will come and basically, why did it go in there? Break these bonds for this here, and the calcium eventually goes away because the ATP has broken these two bonds. So the calcium will eventually go away, and thus you have your relaxed muscle.
When a person dies, their cell membrane, like their muscular cell membrane, becomes a lot more permeable, meaning the sarcoplasmic reticulum can release a lot more calcium into the cell, like so, which will bind with the troponin and move the trypomyosin out of the way, which allows the myosin and the actin to bind together. Usually when cells uncontract, ATP does the job of allowing them to uncontract and break the binds. However, post-mortem, your body no longer produces ATP, so ATP isn't there, and the entire body contracts as myosin and actin are attracted to each other, and the body becomes stiff for a few hours afterwards.